I'm Noreen, Commissioner of the Northeast Conference, a position that I've held since January of 2010. I actually started in the coaching ranks. I coached women's soccer at Cornell, which was my alma mater. I played there for 4 years and figured, why go into the real world when you can stay in college athletics? And I coached for 2 years and realized that wasn't really my passion, and then decided to go on to graduate school at University of Massachusetts, and from there I was fortunate enough to get an internship at the University of Connecticut and work directly with Pat Meiser-McNett, who's at University of Hartford now, but Jeff Hathaway and Lou Perkins, and was able to see them kind of deliberate and consider the move from 1A, which was 1A, to 1AA at the time, so that was an exciting time to be at UConn. And then I went from there after 5 years at UConn, spent 8 years at Conference USA working with Mike Slive, and then eventually Britton Bonoski. And I arrived actually when Mike Slive was walking out the door to do his first football tour, and they were just starting their first season of football at Conference USA. And then from there I went to Northwestern and had the privilege of working with Randy Walker before his untimely death, and then Pat Fitzgerald, who's kind of an icon at Northwestern, but most importantly with Mark Murphy, who's now the CEO and president of the Green Bay Packers. So I've certainly had a lot of exposure to football at different levels, and I'm really excited to bring all that experience to the Northeast Conference and try to enhance what we're doing on the football side here. Probably the biggest component, probably the work ethic. I come from a family of perfectionists, one of which actually is within FCS football as well. I'll make that connection early on. Evan Morris is the head football coach at UMass. So he and I grew up in the same household, very competitive household, always wanted to be at the top, and did everything we could to make sure that we positioned ourselves to be successful. So I think the work ethic and the competitiveness is probably two of the qualities, but I think the third most important is just relationship building, the ability to work with all different types of constituencies, from coaches and student athletes to athletic directors and presidents. I've got 12 bosses, and they're all campus presidents. So you really do need to have to figure out how to work with and to communicate with a very broad range of individuals. The Northeast Conference this past year celebrated our 30th anniversary, and we have 23 sports and host 22 championships. Football we've had actually since 1996, so we've completed 14 years of NEC football, and our growth has been pretty tremendous. In the last couple of years, we've seen a much bigger commitment from our institutions to support their football programs. They went from a need-based only financial aid program within the Northeast Conference on the football side of things, and then in 2000 moved towards scholarships, more from a need-based program. And then in 2006, the presidents agreed, let's move to 30 full grants in aid for the athletic limit, although institutions could still go to the full 63 with a combination of athletic, need-based, or merit aid. And then in 2009, they voted to increase that from 30 to 40, increasing 2 scholarships a year. So when 2013 comes around, we'll have 40 scholarship limit. Again, that's only athletic aid limit, but the coaches and the student athletes can work together, and if they can earn the merit aid or the need-based aid, they can exceed that 40 limit to go up to the full 63 equivalency limit. Probably some of the more exciting things that have happened with the Northeast Conference is with the expansion of the FCS bracket. Last year, it was our first ever participation as an AQ conference into the FCS championship. So it was really exciting for us. Our coaches, our student athletes, I think you see the competitiveness increase throughout the conference, and the excitement, the ability to earn your spot in the championship has really made a big difference for our conference, and we're looking forward to participating again this year as AQ. And Robert Morris did an excellent job representing the Northeast Conference last year in our first opportunity, and again, the parity in this league is going to be tremendous this year, and we're really looking forward to seeing what we can do both in conference and non-conference. Well, expansion is always on the plate as a consideration, and as a commissioner, you have to look at the landscape and look at the national movement and try to figure out, where does your conference need to go. You want to be proactive rather than reactive, and our conference has shown the ability to look ahead and try to determine where it should position itself. So Bryant University is actually in the middle of transitioning from Division II to I. They are within our conference, will be full members next year. However, they already play full schedule in basketball and football and all our other sports. They will not be able to represent us in the FCS championship this year if they were to beat the champions. But we're very excited about having Brian aboard. From a football-only perspective, we actually voted this past in October, to extend invitation to University of Rhode Island to join the Northeast Conference in football as an associate playing member. And they will join us in 2013. As you know, with the movement in the Northeast region, with Hofstra and Northeastern dropping football, and then eventually UMass announcing they're going to the MAC. And there's a lot of, instability, so to speak, and to be able to give URI a home and to really enhance the competitiveness of the Northeast Conference. I think that was a great move, both for the Northeast Conference, for Rhode Island, as well as FCS football, to make sure that our programs are continuing to be financially viable and successful within the the confines of the institution that they live within. There was a typical day. Every day brings a different challenge or a different opportunity. As I mentioned earlier, we have 22 championships and 23 sports that we sponsor. So every day we've got issues that can come up in any one of those areas. As a commissioner, I try to keep a broad focus on what we're doing from a conference perspective. So I try to touch base with my staff. We have experts in the areas of compliance, marketing, promotions, sports information. We, as a conference, are actually starting a 2-year implementation of a new media initiative that will try to combine all of the social media platforms along with enhanced webcasting productions that we are going to be providing to all of our fans, and a web portal that will allow our institutions not only to promote their athletic events, but we also want to feature what our students are doing in the classroom, what they're doing in the community, and also a chance for our institutions to tout what their academic programs are and the different types of offerings they have from an academic standpoint, not only for student athletes, but for students generally. So we're really excited about that. That'll take up a large part of my year in terms of trying to oversee the implementation of that program, to make sure that we're promoting the NEC in a way that's positive. We have 4,800 student athletes. We want each of them to have a great experience. And I think the ability to promote them in a way, in a format that our young people are using to communicate, so we're talking about social media, if we can provide them the opportunity to see themselves play, to talk about what they're doing, feature articles, I think that'll be a great asset for the Northeast Conference. And I think one of the things that we like to focus in on is not only the sportsmanship aspect, both on and off the field, but what our student athletes are doing in the community. So another big focus for us is to celebrate the impact that we have on our communities, and one of our slogans or the adage for our new media initiative is building communities. And we, as a conference, our student athletes volunteered over 25,000 hours of community service last year during the academic year 2010-11. And I think that's a tremendous stat to show that not only are student athletes working hard in the classroom, working on the field, but they're giving back to their communities, which I think is probably one of the more exciting components of being in college athletics. To our conference members, well, I would like to say for football, with their upcoming season that I'm very excited for the competition this year. Our coaches are ready for a dogfight. We had our football media day, and our coaches to a person were extremely excited about what we're doing as a conference, and they're extremely respectful of the coaches that they're going up against. And we have some fantastic coaches within our league. You got Bob Ford at Albany, who is I believe, the leader in active wins in the FCS. You got Joe Walton, who started the Robert Morris program and has a storied history as a former NFL coach. So we've got some exciting coaches. We've got some exciting programs, and I think the parity in this league and the competitiveness this league will be at its best in the history of the Northeast Conference. So I encourage everyone to come out and watch us play, and if you can't come out, you can catch us on TV. We've got 5 broadcasts, most in HD, and each of our institutions will have an appearance on television this year. We're really excited to run with the Northeast Conference, and looking forward to seeing everybody out there, and also looking forward to the FCS Championship. I know that you interviewed Tom Burnett earlier in your series, and he's done great things for the FCS, and all the commissioners and presidents are committed to enhancing the FCS football and making it the place to be, and making that championship a great experience for everyone involved. So not only at the Northeast Conference are we moving and shaking and making things better, but at the national level, I think you're seeing a lot of activity and a lot of commitment and engagement at the presidential level will make things very exciting. Good luck. Stay healthy. Stay strong. And, reach for that golden apple, which is the FCS AQ. Everyone has the opportunity. It's the beginning of the season. And I think play hard, play fair, play with passion, but most of all, enjoy your experience as a collegiate student-athlete in the Northeast Conference, because it's an honor and a privilege to be there. We've earned the AQ. We want to keep it, and we want to show the rest of the FCS that we belong and that we are competitive, and that, last year we had wins against some of the more storied programs, Lehigh, Colgate, UMass. Actually, this year we're playing Lehigh, Colgate, UMass, JMU, Richmond for a few, and we've had some great wins against Liberty and Maine and Bucknell. So we've shown that we can compete, and we're going to continue to do that. Well, this is Noreen Morris from Commissioner Northeast Conference. I'd like to thank the College Football Performance Awards for this opportunity, and appreciate their support, and appreciate the audience's support of FCS Football Northeast Conference, as well as College Football Performance Awards.